Now, we've got a few emails on this, but many people are concerned they can't afford to pay those taxes right now. So will that deadline be extended? The governor says the state is still working with counties to figure out how to soften, he says, the financial blow.
The assessors and the counties make that determination. This is not the state's money, unlike a lot of other taxes that are collected. We've made great progress on the residential side. We're trying to make even more progress on the commercial side. And that's a preview to conversations we're having with some of our nation's largest banks as well, similar to the residential mortgage and the forbearance deal that we just announced.
Well, tonight, the number of confirmed cases of coronavirus in California has reached a bleak milestone. There are now more than 10,000 cases, according to Johns Hopkins University. The number of deaths is now at 233. More than 800 patients are in the ICU, but that number is far less of a surge than what some other states are seeing right now. Governor Newsom says that he's officially signed a deal to bring hundreds of hospital beds to Sacramento's Sleep Train Arena now. The governor says that a lot of the work to set up a field hospital at the former Kings Arena will happen in the next 10 to 14 days. More than 24 other sites are also being looked at for hospital beds, including the Oakland Coliseum.
Numbers keep coming in here. The latest county-by-county breakdown for you. Solano and Sutter County have now reported their first death from the virus. San Joaquin County also reporting another death. 12 more new cases have been reported in Placer County. Their total now is 90, and Sacramento County is reporting 37 new confirmed cases of the virus. A church in Sacramento County is now at the center of a major coronavirus outbreak controversy. County health leaders say at least 71 members of the congregation at the Bethany Missionary Church have been diagnosed with COVID-19.
CBS 13's Marissa Perlman has reaction from those frustrated health leaders who say that the church didn't listen.
While most religious organizations across our area have listened to that stay-at-home order, this church here in Sacramento still held small group meetings, and the health department says its members have now contributed to one of the biggest outbreaks in the country.
Inside their community, which is greater than 70 people, there's a very real danger here, and that is why we want them to stop gathering together.
One person has died, and the pastor is sick at the Bethany Slavic Missionary Church. Sacramento health leaders like Jenna Haynes say the church has made several attempts, including phone calls and in person, to talk to church leaders, but have been unsuccessful in getting them to change their routine.
I don't know what the makeup of their congregation is as far as elderly or those underlying conditions, but the last thing that they want to see is people that are passing away because they've chosen not to comply with the public health order.
In a live video posted on the church Facebook yesterday, members of the choir and congregation are seen sitting in close proximity. Health leaders believe the meetings have been happening inside members' homes, not physically at the vast 20-acre church campus in Sacramento. But health leaders say that's almost worse.
A smaller group scenario, but almost worse in the sense that they're in a more enclosed area, spending a few hours together in close contact. That's exactly how this virus transmits.
Leaders with the Pastors Association in Sacramento say the Bethany Church stopped holding services 2 weeks ago. Coming up next at 6, another Sacramento church still holding services on Sunday. We'll tell you where next.
Well, tonight, another California law enforcement officer has died from the coronavirus. Deputy Terrell Young served the Riverside County Sheriff's Department for the past 15 years. He most recently worked at a jail in Murrieta. He passed away this morning. He's believed to be the second officer to die from the virus now, after a police officer in Santa Rosa died earlier this week.
Tonight, the U.S. has more than 242,000 confirmed cases and more than 5,800 deaths. New York, by far the most cases now, with more than 92,000, and the number of deaths doubled in that state in the span of just 72 hours. Paramedics in New York City, by the way, they received new orders today. If they can't revive a patient at the scene, they are not to bring the patient to the hospital because emergency rooms are so overwhelmed.
The turnover, someone passes away, all right, get the room clean, next person in immediately. I mean, there's patients sitting in the ER on ventilators waiting to come up.
New York's governor said 2 more field hospitals, like the one in Central Park, will be going up soon in other parts of the city. He said that critical supplies are running low in New York with only 6 days worth of ventilators in that state's stockpile.
The Society of Critical Care Medicine estimates nearly 1 million patients in the U.S. may need a ventilator, but there are only about 200,000 machines available. San Jose company has now refurbished ventilators. Bloom Energy has transitioned from making hydrogen fuel cells to working on ventilators. They've refurbished more than 500 so far, including 170 ventilators the state received from the national stockpile that arrived broken.
Tonight, the captain of that U.S. Navy aircraft carrier that pleaded for his sailors to be taken offshore because of the outbreak has been relieved of his command. The Navy Secretary says Captain Brett Crozier of the USS Theodore Roosevelt created a panic by sending a memo sounding the alarm to too many people. It ended up being leaked to a California newspaper. The move was ultimately approved, with sailors being taken to hotels in Guam and his skeleton staff left on board. The captain, by the way, who is from Santa Rosa, will still keep his rank and remain in the Navy. Major relief tonight for passengers on board 2 infected cruise ships off the coast of Florida. The ships were finally allowed to dock this afternoon in Port Everglades. At least 9 people have tested positive for the virus on those ships. 4 have died. Public health officials on land reached a legal agreement with Carnival that the cruise line company will take responsibility that local residents aren't put at risk by those disembarking.
Our understanding is that most people on both ships are healthy and doing well, but the confinement is very difficult, especially over such an extended period of time.
Passengers were trapped on board for more than 2 weeks. About 300 Americans are on the 2 ships, including about 50 people who live in the state of Florida.
The pandemic is having another impact on the 2020 presidential campaign. The Democratic convention has officially been delayed. The DNC was originally scheduled for July 13th through the 17th. It's now been pushed back to the week of August 17th. Milwaukee will host the convention for the first time ever. And more help tonight for some Bay Area school districts. Today, the Golden State Warriors donated 4,000 grocery tote bags to Oakland Unified and San Francisco Unified School Districts to make sure that the districts could distribute food to families safely. School districts and food banks across the region have been out of bags for days now. With new information on the pandemic coming in by the minute, a reminder that you can always get the very latest information on our website anytime. Just go to cbs13.com/coronavirus.
Lots more to talk about here at 5. Coming up, an officer-involved shooting with multiple crime scenes. How it all unfolded across 2 counties.
Plus, conference calls hijacked, people taking over Zoom meetings with profanity and racism. What the company is now doing to stop it.
And no prom, no graduation, a tough year for thousands of high school seniors, and special fundraisers to support those students, and how it's also helping first responders. Dave?
All right, Tony, today felt a little bit like fall, tomorrow like spring, so why not make the weekend feel like winter? What can we expect coming up? Details coming up.
Sunday,
We're gonna play some music and celebrate.
the Academy of Country Music presents a special concert from our house.
To your house. Come on over.
Gail King hosts Our Country, Sunday 8/7 Central on CBS.
Next, TT, the Friends reunion postponed, the latest on its must-see TV return. Plus, inside the Grey's Anatomy and Station 19 crossover event, only we're with the fit and fiery hats.
Well, I know you guys gotta be in shape.
Well, you know it's always the best show.
Then, Polly Perrette back on TV.
Do you want to tell everybody where you have been?
Well, I have been at the bar.
Our exclusive on-site new CBS comedy, FTV.
Tonight at 6:30 on CBS 13.
From roof to foundation, the damage to your home can be devastating, from clogged gutters, leaking roofs, and flooded basements. Protect your entire home with Leaf Filter. Leaf Filter's micro mesh screen is guaranteed to filter out everything except for water.
It's protected my home. I love it.
Call 833-376-8131 or go to getleaffilter.com for your free gutter inspection and estimate. Call or log on today and save 15%.
I didn't choose this exact type of metastatic breast cancer, but I did pick Clarity by knowing I have a treatment that goes right at it.
Discover Pickering, a treatment that specifically targets PIK3CA mutations in HR-positive HER2-negative MBC. Pickray is taken with fulvestrant after progression on hormone therapy and helps people live longer without disease progression. Do not take Pickray if you've had severe allergic reactions to it or any of its ingredients. Pickray can cause serious side effects, including severe allergic and skin reactions, high blood sugar levels, and diarrhea that are common and can be severe, and pneumonitis. Tell your doctor right away if you have symptoms of severe allergic reactions or high blood sugar while taking Pickray. Your doctor will monitor your blood sugar before and during treatment, and more often often if you have type 2 diabetes. Before starting, tell your doctor if you have a history of diabetes, skin reactions, or plan to become pregnant or breastfeeding. Common side effects include rash, nausea, tiredness, weakness, decreased appetite, mouth sores, vomiting, weight loss, hair loss, and changes in some blood tests. Ask your doctor about PigReg.
This portion of the program is being brought to you by the Trenchless Company.
Welcome back. An investigation underway in Solano County after police said they were forced to shoot a man at a crime scene spanning several cities. Vacaville police say officers opened fire on a man that the CHP had been following after he reportedly stole a minivan in San Francisco. The chase led to Elmira Road and Edwin Drive in Vacaville this morning. Officers tried to box this guy in, but they say he drove at officers to escape. He eventually crashed into a drainage ditch and then took off running. Officers opened fire again, taking him into custody.
Pursuits, by their very nature, can be dangerous. Suspects often are very unpredictable. Some of the things that you're factoring in are alcohol or drugs playing a factor, someone's mental state, why they're running.
The suspect is in critical condition but is expected to make it. No officers were injured. New information for you on a crash in Sacramento involving two CHP officers. The officers were driving along B as in Victor Street near 18th Street late last night when the driver of a Toyota Corolla ran a stop sign, slammed right into the side of the patrol car. Suspects took off but were found in a nearby home. Both are facing a number of charges, including felony DUI and hit and run. The officers were taken to the hospital but have since been released.
A local restaurant is donating hundreds of lunches to medical and emergency personnel each week. Garden of Eden has locations in Roseville and Auburn and decided to give back while still offering curbside service to its customers.
We just know that medical and emergency personnel are experiencing probably the highest amounts of strain and stress right now. And so trying to figure out ways that we can express appreciation and gratitude for all of their hard work and really the sacrifices that they're making too.
Well, people wanting to give back and support the effort can jump online to the website and make a $10 donation to sponsor an additional lunch to be delivered. Deliveries are being made all over the region. And a special drive-through in Sacramento is offering free pet food to those who can't afford it right now. Sacramento SPCA is calling it a paw pantry. Anyone can visit the SPCA on Ford and Perkins Road from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. on Tuesday and Friday. Pick up a bag of dog or cat food. It's available to anyone in any county who needs it.
Paw Pantry, Garden of Eden, coming out with some good names there.
I love it. Yeah, very creative. Well, school is out indefinitely now with distance learning only. Soon-to-be graduates and their families feel that they're missing out on a lot of major milestones.
Yeah, what a bummer for so many people. But as CBS 13's Heather Jansen tells us, many in Solano County want to make sure they still get recognized.
A photo to cherish. Vacaville High senior Brian McClellan and his team took this photo only weeks ago. The last time they'd all be able to play together.
They're kind of like my brothers, and like we have goals that we want to achieve, and we can't do that now.
A season ending early, proms canceled, graduation ceremonies still up in the air. It's become the sad new reality for graduates.
It's a very important time in our life. We're taught 4 years.
But the Solano County community is making sure they're not left feeling unappreciated. McClellan's mom, Sonia, rounded up a team to create Signs for Grads, a fundraiser showing love to local graduates like her son and daughter, both graduating high school and college this year.
I would love to see the sign in every yard driving around in Solano County.
The sign reads, "They're in this together." A community campaign. One Vacaville photographer, Brianna Gamble, wanted to be a part of too.
We are thinking about them and we are really thinking for them. We can make it in some way.
Outside of this campaign, Gamble and other photographers like Lisa Altmiller are asking to capture moments that pass these grads by, offering free prom photos for those who missed out. Once the pandemic clears, hoping seniors still have memories to cherish.
My senior year didn't end the way I wanted it to, but here's a great memory that I have.
A little light for many seniors missing out on major milestones, and hope for all families who want to honor their accomplishments.
Just proud to see people kind of just coming together for these graduates and celebrating them.
And Heather adds most of the money made off the signs for grads is going toward really good stuff. They're buying juices and juice boxes to stock the fridges for healthcare workers at local hospitals and for first responders as well.
That's a great idea.
Yep.
I'm gonna head over to Dave and get a look at the weather outside. But looking ahead to the weekend, what can we expect?
Well, today was kind of a fall-like day, believe it or not. Temperatures running in the 60s. But for this weekend, it's back to winter. We got mid-50s. We've got maybe 2 to 3 feet of snow coming, and we have a winter storm watch to talk about. But now let's go ahead and take a live shot of Stockton and talk about where we stand temperature-wise. And we do have, again, a bit of a northwest wind in spots out there. So with temperatures in the 60s, and again, the sun angle, still early spring here, it really did feel like almost like a late October, November kind of day. Very pleasant out there. 68 is where we stand right now in Sacramento. That should be pretty close to our daytime high. 69 Stockton, 67 for Modesto, 68 for Marysville. Now take a look at this. Humidity 9%, the dew point at 9 degrees. And that's because the winds are out of the northwest, and we've had some gusts pushing 20 plus miles per hour. That really dries things out. When you dry things out, that of course allows us to end up with cooler overnights, and we'll probably have morning lows again down into the upper 30s and low 40s here in the Central Valley, down into the teens up in the higher elevations. So right through here, this is going to continue to bother us in the sense of giving us some northwest winds for later on tonight. It'll exit. Tomorrow's not bad. We'll have mostly sunny conditions. Temperatures tomorrow will be between about 68 and 72, so close to where you'd expect to be. And then this comes knocking on the door just in time for the early morning hours there on Saturday. It'll last all the way on into Monday. So what can we expect? Well, by the time we're done, we can see 2 to 3 inches of rain in the foothills. Sunday, we may have a thunderstorm to contend with in the valley and the foothills. A half inch to 1 inch of rain by the time we're done through this whole deal. Snow levels start out at around 5,000 feet. We'll drop down below 4,000, so just kind of averaging it out there. But 2 to 3 feet of snow in the higher elevations. Thus, you've got that in place for the west slope of the Sierra. And that starts early Saturday, goes all the way to the early part of the day on Monday for the west slope and around the greater Lake Tahoe area itself. Here's forecast for your Friday. It's going to be a fine Friday. Fair skies. Just a hint of a northwest wind, not as blustery as today. Upper 60s and low 70s for the northern San Joaquin Valley. 67 tomorrow in Sacramento, 68 for Woodland, 66 for Folsom with a morning low at about 38. Gold Country, downsloping winds tonight, and then tomorrow they shuffle back around out of the west 5 to 10, and it's going to feel like fall there. Temperatures will be in the mid-50s to the low 60s under fair skies. Up toward Plumas County, mostly sunny conditions there, and the temperatures will be reflective of a fall-like day, low to mid-50s, lows in the 20s. This is where it's going to get cold tonight. At least we have light winds tomorrow morning, but down into the teens. Daytime highs in the upper 40s to low 50s. And then over toward the west, we'll have sunshine, breezy at 60 around Monterey. Strong sea breeze coming into San Francisco, so we're talking 20 to 30, so get some chop on the bay. 61 for San Francisco tomorrow with sunshine, upper 60s Santa Rosa as well as Fairfield, and Fairfield should be under mostly sunny conditions. Now, we'll talk 7-day forecast. Okay, here we go. Tomorrow's a fine-looking Friday, mostly sunny. Temperatures in the upper 60s, could be scratching at 70 degrees. So close to what you expect for this time of the year. This is not. We're down into the upper 50s Saturday and Sunday. So the heavier stuff comes in on Sunday, and will continue lasting on Monday. Maybe a thunderstorm here on Sunday, and then still seeing some showers as we get into the early part of next week. And then by Wednesday and Thursday, we'll below average by about 5 degrees, but we're starting to at least dry things out a little bit. Still a slight chance out there of some unsettled weather on Thursday. So a wet weekend coming up.
Bro, why'd you put that on your
the early part of next week, and the temperatures only in the 50s and 60s. Elizabeth?
Was it free?
All right, thanks, Dave. Coming up at 5:30, the CBS Evening News with Nora O'Donnell. She'll have all the top national and international stories that is immediately following our newscast.
And then coming up tonight at 6 o'clock, rapid coronavirus testing from a Sacramento County company that's fast and affordable. They could help with a massive backlog of results.
Also at 6, messages of hope written on the sidewalk in one local neighborhood erased. Why not everyone was happy about the
think you're
artwork
rich
for the
by
neighborhood
building a
is doing now.
house. That's gonna lose money, guys.
You're Lizzie and Uncle Javier.
Oh, you mean Aunt Queenie and Uncle Toy?
I have lost all my money.
How?
Overspending and shopping too much and buying way too many things.
I watched the Booster movie when I was like 10.
If you guys want to live here, you're going to have to contribute. And where do you think we're going to find the money to do that?
I have this thing on my face because of something called the coronavirus, if none of you know. And, hello.
There will be parties again soon, and family gatherings. There will be parades, and sporting events, and concerts. To help our communities when they come back together, respond to the 2020 census now.
Someone says she probably is.
To impact the next 10 years of healthcare, infrastructure, and education. Go to 2020census.gov and respond today to make America's tomorrow brighter. It's time to shape our future.
Hard to think about life getting back to normal these days. Eventually, however, it will. We'll drive our kids back to school, go out to dinner, and take a road trip. Until then, your Toyota service department will remain open with new safety measures in place. Why keep our service department open when everything else is closed? So our customers can depend on their Toyotas when they need them most. The road back starts here.
If your mortgage rate is higher than 2.75%, call 833-7-OWNING for a no closing cost refi now. That's no closing costs, none, zero, at owning.com or call 833-7-OWNING.
What we do now will forever change our tomorrow. So let's do the right thing today. Let's stay at home. Let's wash up. Let's always keep our distance. Please, 6 feet apart at least. Let's look after ourselves as well as others. It will all be worth it. We can all do our part, so those on the front line can do their part. And when this is over, we will all continue to thrive.
There's no place like home, especially when Xfinity has you covered with fast, reliable internet. With advanced security to help keep you secure online. And with the most TV shows, movies, and streaming apps all in one place. With simple digital tools, you can get the help you need or even troubleshoot your services on your own. Download the Xfinity My Account app or just say help into your Xfinity voice remote. We're working to make things a little easier on everyone. Download the Xfinity My Account app today.
Call Curtis Investigates, getting answers and getting results.
It's working! Just keep doing it, America. And by it, of course, I mean nothing.
Colbert's got a new show from home tonight on CBS.
Well, back 1.9 million Californians, as we talked about, have applied for unemployment, a record number of Americans also needing help.
The big question, will those jobs ever return? We call on Curtis Main for a closer look.
I don't think people realize how many of us there actually are out there.
This manager of a closed bar is waiting for the crisis to end.
I don't personally see a situation where I'm back behind the bar full time in full swing until maybe early October.
A staggering number of Americans suddenly out of work. The Department of Labor says a record 6.6 million people filed for initial unemployment benefits just last week. That's double the record high of 3.3 million from the previous week.
This is an absolutely insane number of people, and it sure does hurt to see these numbers because I don't think they're going to let up anytime soon.
Some don't know their jobs will survive the pandemic, even with the government's $2 trillion economic stimulus package.
They need to stop the mortgage payments, they need to stop all the phone payments, they need to stop all that for a couple months, at least 90 days or something to have people be on their feet, you know?
Curtis thinks Zoom is now requiring passwords to video conference after people have bombed sessions with racist remarks, drawing phallic pictures on screen. It happened to this woman's 14-year-old daughter.
First, the screens were completely black, and they were saying all these anti